Has Berkshire's board already discussed what would happen to the company over the long term if Berkshire was to be prevented from acquiring controlled businesses?
We don't discuss that as a specific, but the board is very, very, very familiar with what Berkshire does, why they do it, how we think in deploying capital. But we could, everybody knows that if you change the antitrust laws, it can change things for Berkshire. If they change the tax laws, it can change things for Berkshire. There's a lot of things, and we could spend hours discussing them. But in the end, is it a 22.3% risk that something changes? It's a good way to fill the time at board meetings. And if you're getting $300,000 or $400,000 a year as a board director, you might want to spend your time doing that. But we really don't focus on that. The main thing about Berkshire is how do you preserve the culture? How do you make sure that if you get the wrong person as the CEO, you can do something about it? That's the biggest risk a board has, is if you pick the wrong CEO. And I've been on 20 boards, and it's happened more than once. And sometimes it's a terrible problem to get rid of them. Years go by, and if a dissident comes in, it's one thing. But if you just sit there and you collect your $300,000 or $400,000 a year, and the chief executive keeps proposing you get increases time to time, and it's worse yet if he's a nice person, doing his best. But we're not going to spend a lot of time. We may do it on a personal basis, but we're not going to take a lot of people. And we want them to know more about what's going on with BNSF and how Katie's doing, and whether the KCS thing can injure us in any material way, and so on. And we really don't, except maybe on a private side thing, we don't start talking about what the effects will be in 2050 if this projection or that projection is met.